2022 to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, word millstone, which is word, truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, which is word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled word, which is word, truthfully and sincerely. And say shalom to your Akim out there. And this is another sit-down lesson on this February 12th, 2022, on this Saturday afternoon. It's another quick lesson I'm about to do. And it says, this is from MSN.com. This is about 34 minutes ago. And this is from USA Today. It says, in a call, Joe Biden tells Putin, U.S. and allies will respond decisively if Russia invades Ukraine. Even though we've been hearing this rhetoric over and over and over again, like a broken record player, but that goes to show you that the increase of the wars, rumors of wars, the increase of nations against nation, And I'm about to read on to the article that I just brought up, and it says Washington President Joe Biden warns Russian President Vladimir Putin on Saturday that an invasion on Ukraine could result in shift and severe costs for Russia during a high-stakes hour-long phone call that failed to ease rising tensions. Right, and that goes back into the book of 1 Thessalonians, I believe, 5:2, when they say peace and safety, sub-discretion component. I'm going to paraphrase. A senior Biden administration officials described the call as a professional, but says the dialogue resulted in no fundamental change in the dynamics that have been unfolding now for several weeks. And it says the call lasts a little over an hour, ended shortly after noon Eastern Time on Saturday. It came as the White House says a Russian invasion could be imminent. So that that goes into the rumors of wars, because you still got Moscow and Russia still denying the fact that they're gonna invade Ukraine and all that. It says perhaps before the conclusion of the Beijing Winter Olympics, which end on February the 20th. And it says Biden told Putin that if Russia undertakes a further invasion of Ukraine, the United States, together with our allies and partners, will respond decisively and impose swift and severe costs on Russia, according to the White House. And continuing on with the reading, it says President Biden reiterates that a further Russian invasion of Ukraine would produce a widespread human suffering and diminish Russian standing, the White House said, adding that Biden was also clear the White House, while committing to diplomacy, is equally prepared for other scenarios. It says the talks came after the State Department late Friday directed more staff who remain in the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv to leave immediately. The Pentagon also ordered the withdrawal of 160 National Guard troops from Ukraine. And it says Biden is in Camp David in Maryland for the weekend. It says during a phone call earlier Saturday, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken warns Russian Foreign Ministers Sergei Lavrov that if Russia invades Ukraine, it would result massive transatlantic response. It says a sincere dialogue incapable with military escalations. Macron, which is the president of France, and tells Putin. He said Putin also spoke on Saturday with French with French President Emmanuel Macron, who tried to serve as a chief European tried to serve as a European chief in a call in the crisis. It says Macron told Putin that a sincere dialogue is not capable with military escalations during the phone call that lasts more than an hour. According to the French media, it says Putin meanwhile suggests the United States was enraging a proactive speculation about about a possible Russian investigation of Ukraine. According to a statement from the Kremlin on the Russian leaders' conversation with Macron, Putin also raised concerns about the massive supplies of modern weaponry that West is sending to Ukraine and suggests that will create conditions for a Ukraine military assault in the eastern Donbass region of Ukraine, where Russian-backed separatists has been operating. It says U.S. directs most ambassador staff in Ukraine to leave. The department late Friday direct more staff and its most staff and its ambassadors in Kyiv to evacuate, as the White House warned that Russian invasion of Ukraine could be imminent. Because the West they continue trying to stir up and trying to have diplomacy at the same time as well too. That's a scripture go back into a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Rough paraphrase. That's for an example. It says the ambassador is suspending consult service that will still provide some. It says, but still providing some emergency service with small team remaining. The ambassador will operate a grand minimum to maintain core functions, according to a senior State Department official who spoke on the conditional anonymity. It says the move comes as Washington has ratcheted up warnings for Americans to leave the country in a conflict militarized. Americans in Ukraine should not expect the military to rescue them, the official said Saturday morning, adding that it isn't just the time to leave Ukraine, it is a past time for private citizens to leave Ukraine as well. The State Department has early ordered a family Slovakia. My bad. Go back to it. Go back to the article. Accidentally press on. But yeah, it says the State Department have early. Right. Let me go back to the reading. Connection of the internet tweaking. Back to the reading. The State Department has early ordered families of the U.S. embassy staffers in Kyiv to leave, but it has left the searching of non-essential personnel if they want to depart. And it says the department also updated its travel advisor, urging Americans not to travel to Ukraine. U.S. officials, and I believe it was other countries as well too. Turkey, they said that if travelers from Turkey or other foreigners, if they traveling to Ukraine, they advise them not to travel there during the current main tensions. And it says, officials said, do not have an account flow of how many Americans in Ukraine. It says U.S. ordered the withdrawal of 160 troops from Ukraine. And it says the defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the withdrawal of 160 National Guard troops from Ukraine on Saturday in signs of an imminent invasion. It says the troops from Florida National Guard has been advising Ukraine forces since November that will be sent elsewhere in Europe. Oh, so they gonna so they gonna stay in that region. Oh, okay. It says the secretary made the decision out of abundance of caution, with the safety and security of our personal foremost in mind, and informing about the State Department's guidance on the personal in Ukraine. Pentagon Secretary John Kirby said in a statement. And it says on Friday, Austin ordered about 3,000 soldiers from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to Poland to reinforce the NATO's eastern flank. And it says Jake Silverman, the President Joe Biden's national security advisor, also urged all citizens to leave Ukraine. It says Biden to Putin to speak. U.S. warns of massive results of massive response to invasion. So I ain't gonna read all too much. This is a long article, but it shows you right there, like the United States trying to come up with some diplomacy, and then they taking shots and they taking warnings at as Joe Biden said in a long hour phone call they had with President Vladimir Putin over the current situation over there in the region of the Ukraine border crisis, and he was saying that the United States is going to act decisively along with their allies to if they invade Ukraine, there's going to be some severe consequences, and many other options as well too, in harsh budget, And I'm gonna go to that scripture where say peace and safety when the president of France and after I believe Vladimir Putin had that phone call with Joe Biden, and then he spoke with the president of France, and it goes back into the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 3, I believe. Trying to find solutions to escalate the situation, but how way things are going with the situation, it can go either way, So this is the book of 1 Thessalonians. 5 verse 3, and it reads, when they say Salakia. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3, and it reads, for when they say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction come upon them, as a travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. Right, because while these tensions are currently heating up, and then you had the U.S. Special Forces troops over there advising the Ukrainian soldiers over there, and then you had the other allies of the EU 7 countries over there in that region, as they trying to de-escalate the tensions, with the United States and Anthony Blinken and Joe Biden. But it goes back into the book of 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, when they say peace and safety, some destruction come upon them, and then you're going to continue to have continual escalations with this current situation, And then another thing that goes into the wars and rumors of wars, of how the way Joe Biden was taking shots at Vladimir Putin when they had a long hour interview call they had on this Saturday afternoon, And about to bring out the scripture for that to back it up on a news article that I just read. Salakia, put my phone on charge for a second. Salakia, bear with me. So yeah, let me go back and go into it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and that ye be not troubled, for such things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, because all these things are coming to pass with the increase of the wars and rumors of wars, the increase of the nations shall rise against nations, because more upcoming prophecies are coming to pass as well too. We are seeing current ones right before our eyes as well too, and the current upcoming ones as well too. and many more others that's coming up, Go to the next verse. For nation, verse 7 in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. And for nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdoms. And there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. As we currently seeing all those things right now, as I brought out the scripture right there. And I'm going to verse 8. Right, and these are the beginning of sorrows, I brought out the same scripture in a previous video, about these current things that's coming up, and we seeing these current things right before our eyes, in the current times that we are, living in, you're going to see the increase of the nations going against one another and the kingdoms against one another, the continual of the uproars of the people. I believe there was a protest over there in Australia, I believe. And then you still got ongoing situations of other protesters around the world as well too. They were being rebellion against the, their political leaders and their political figures. Like the scripture says, they should not regard their kings nor their princes. As you start to see that as well too, and many other different things. So that's all I wanted to bring out. So expect for these tensions between, the United States and EU and 7 countries, allied with Ukraine, to continue this situation, this ongoing escalation situation, of the potential of, even though Moscow and Russia keep on denying the fact they're not going to invade Ukraine and all that, they just doing military exercise drills, just like they deported the troops over there in Belarus for a war simulation type game. And it's going to begin from February the 10th all the way into the 20th. And then you still got the current on standby of Joe Biden is going to employ those 3,000 additional troops that he made an announcement about 2 days ago. So, it's still like an ongoing current situation with that as well too, So expect these things to increase in the latter days. The nation should rise against nation and the kingdom against kingdoms in the last days. As I brought out those scriptures from the book of Mark 24. No, it's the book of Matthew 24:6 all the way through verse 8. So hey, these continued escalation is going to increase and rise. But it might slow down a little bit, but it's going to rise back up again, because, this is the year of 2022 of Yahweh Hashem outside. It's definitely been turning up the heat on things, Just like it been turned up throughout the whole month of January. We've been seeing many different activities been going on. Now you're starting to see in the year of, in the month of February 2022. And expect to see the whole year of continuing prophecies are coming to pass, and upcoming prophecies as well too. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Bashem Shai, of Yahweh Yahushai. I meant to say Salakia. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Bakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word, truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching His word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching His word, truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom.